What is up, beautiful people? I'm your Wolfbrother Methos Kuja from the channel Frost and Fist, and welcome to Wolfbrother Wednesday. So, for Wolfbrother Wednesday, I'd like to start with the hobby update. First things first, what's on my bench? And so I've made some good progress with the Contemptor Dreadnought that will be Methos the Deathless. So, going right into Shroud's Loyalist Nightlord army, and I made some progress with magnets. I know he asked for specifically the assault cannon and wanted this to be his anti-infantry unit, but I've been feeling the magnets lately. I had a few extra lying around. I'm really excited to be able to give him both weapon options. It's very cool to me. So, got the melt-gun option, the multi-melt option, and got the assault cannon option. That's going to be pretty awesome. I decided to pose his other arm, like reaching out, as if to grab an enemy by the face with those giant Contemptor Dreadnought arms and just crush something in. Kind of like that pose. So that seems pretty cool. And that's got my base coats down, that Cantor blue. You know, next I'm going to put some wash into all the crevices and stuff like that. And I want to start dry brushing it up to give it a similar style of highlights that I did to those Outrider bikes, because I think they'd go very well together. Plus, I just like the kind of glowing effect it gives those surfaces, and I think, you know, especially with the Nightlord, I would like having that kind of glowing kind of look and appeal. You'll be able to see I've left the chest plate off of the Contemptor, so I can paint it separately and then mount it on later. You'll see that there's some putty along, you know, some blue tack along the chest, so I can get that solid plastic to plastic contact when I finally do get them all assembled up. And I've got some pretty good work on them so far. I'm really excited. I'd really like to have that ready to go by the time I see Shroud again this coming Friday, and be able to give him the bikes and the Dreadnought all in one go. That would be awesome. So there's that. Also, on my workbench, pulling out the sprue, my entry into the GEIGOROFF. So there is my Geiger the Fell-Handed sprue, and of course I was watching Emperor's Path with his special guest TheRout, and two great guys, two Wolf brothers, two people who love the Space Wolves. I mean, gotta imagine that was a dream episode for me. So watching these two guys who love the Space Wolves, and they were talking, and they said they liked the Geiger model okay, but of course they didn't like the face, and they're talking about ways that it could be improved. And then they just came up with the idea that they were going to do a Geiger conversion model off, and even they were so cool about it, even though it was just kind of an idea between them, so many of us who were watching was like, hey, I've got an extra one lying around. We wanted to jump in too, and they were all very cool about it. You know, both TheRout and the Emperor's Path said, hey, the more the merrier, jump on in, and they even created a little rule base for it. So got to use the body and the legs of Geiger the Fell-Handed and make your conversions. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm really excited about it. Got to use the hashtag GEIGOROFF. So you'll be seeing that, and I'll be posting it to the Frost and Fist Facebook page, and then I'll be posting also the Emperor's Path community page. That way they can, you know, they'll be able to see my work, and using the hashtag we'll all be able to reference each other's work and see how each other member of this challenge is coming along. It's kind of cool. Interesting little story. Around Christmas time, or probably closer to Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving of course, you know, Burning Prospero had just come out, and where I work is definitely nowhere close to where I live. And I work on kind of, you know, the more upscale, little bougier side of town. It's called the Woodlands. And every once in a while I stop by a comic and game store down there called Fat Ogre Gaming. And there's plenty of normal guys in there, but there are some guys in there who have just way too much money, but are real cool blokes. So anyways, I went into the store one day, and one of the guys was talking about how, yep, he just finished buying 12 boxes of Prospero, you know, the Burning of Prospero, and how he had a ton of special characters. He was looking to sell them off for $4 a piece. So it was right before Christmas, and I wanted to be able to have a couple extras on hand to give out to some of my YouTube brethren. So for $4 a model, you better believe I grabbed up some Ahriman and GEIGOROFF models. So I happen to have an extra one lying around, and I'm really excited about joining in on the GEIGOROFF. So I'm going to try and make my own version of Bullvi. Not Bullvi the Berserker, but Bullvi of the 13th Company, the Old Guard. And I'm going to try and put a special single-bladed axe on him to be Eldingerfell, the Storm Strike. And of course, he's got this big-barreled Magnum-style plasma gun that he's very, very proficient with. You know, I love listening to the audio drama and how he just melts his opponents. Sometimes from point blank, sometimes with a precision shot. But he absolutely melts opponents with his plasma pistol. So I'm really looking forward to, you know, getting him all tricked out and making my representation of such a cool character from the lore. So that's what's on my bench right now. So I went to the game store on Friday night and I got a couple things. First, Sons of Asaheim, or Blood of Asaheim. Another Space Wolf novel for my collection. I'm very excited about that. And the artwork on the Blood of Asaheim has one of my favorite Space Wolf pictures ever. So I'm real excited to add that one to the collection. There's just one more for me to read, and I'm really pleased that my Space Wolf collection is growing. Also this weekend I picked up a nice little set of mini drawers. And I've been telling you guys for a while, I really need to get on cleaning my workstation up and getting it organized because, you know, it is definitely overloaded. And when I do finally get it cleaned up, I'll show you guys some before and after pictures. But that seems about the right size to store some dropper bottles and paint pots and all that good stuff. I've also got a couple of work trays that I'm going to stack next to that, you know, so I can put screws and work in progress models on. And then a cup for my brushes, X-Acto knives, stuff like that. So I've got the materials now to get myself organized, get my workstation cleaned up. So my question for this week is going to come later on, but it will have something to do with getting organized. So that does bring me to some bad news. Of course, first of all, you'll notice that there was no battle report went up this week because I had to leave in the middle of game night, and unfortunately what happened is that told you guys about a month ago I lost my Nala bear, you know, awesome cat, you know, loved her very much, was in my family for 11 years, so a lot of time spent with her. And her twin brother Bagheera also passed this Friday night. So I definitely, you know, I left the store immediately. I just grabbed up my stuff and left, and that was kind of how I spent my weekend because, you know, I came home and took care of that. And the next day, after getting him all wrapped up and ready and everything like that, the next day we took him down to my wife's family has a farm and a beautiful, beautiful piece of land. And, you know, laid the cats to rest out there on the family property. It's been in the family for generations and will probably be around for many more generations. And such a beautiful country out there. I think it makes it a very fitting final resting place. But you know, it was definitely an emotional weekend, and of course, you know, that's why there's really not a lot of hobby update other than what I managed to do before that. So I apologize for not putting up a battle report this week and that there's been a pause on the campaign. I intended to get with my lore master Shroud, the one who writes all of our lore and is the most versed on the lore for 40k. I'd really like to get him to voice over the narrative for this campaign because he does such a good job running our storyboard and our narrative and stuff like that, and sounding out everyone's lore for them, you know, the backstory to their armies. I really think he deserves the spotlight on this. So we'll see if we can get that together for you guys in the future. Again, I apologize for not getting out a battle report this week or anything narrative, but it has been kind of a tough weekend for me. And of course, you know, the family as well. I mean, you know, it was tough on the kids, it was tough on my beautiful wife. So just wanted to spend the weekend doing what I can do to, you know, to be there for the family. Alright, so talking about family, I'd like to move on to the next section, the Pack of the Wolf Brother. So, this week, Pack Brother, Kuja Hyra, first off, been doing a Wolf Lord Crom, which looks fantastic. I like the look of the model for Wolf Lord Crom. Just a really cool looking character. In fact, you know, I've considered many times doing up a conversion to do that as the basis for what Methos Silver Moon looks like. So that I may end up picking on one of those models in the future, especially since I've got the parts coming in for what I want to do with Silver Moon. You know, I have the shoulder pads coming in. You know, I think I'll be able to make a really cool Methos Silver Moon model out of that. And of course, once I start building up some of the pieces, it'll be a perfect time to drop that story for you. So he's got an awesome Wolf Lord Crom. Really love that model, and he's done a great job putting it together and making it look good with the paint. Also, he started his sit and chat style series officially, calling it Hyra Hobby Sundays. So go check that out. And in that, his question of the week was about Final Fantasy, because he also does Let's Plays. It's mostly a hobby channel, so through the week you'll be able to check out all the Warhammer stuff he's doing, and then on Saturdays he's doing Let's Plays. And right now he's the first one I've seen since, you know, I've joined as a viewer watching his channel, is Final Fantasy VII. And that is my favorite Final Fantasy. And that's actually his question of the week, is what do you think of the Final Fantasy series, and what's your favorite? And so Final Fantasy VII is my favorite, same as his. In fact, somewhere lost on the interwebs is a picture of me cosplayed as Reno of the Turks somewhere. That was actually one of my very first cosplays, and one I really enjoyed. So definitely, in fact, I even had a group for a while named the Turks, and just I love everything about the Turks, their style, you know, their martial arts prowess. And a lot of people give them crap, but against, you know, when they fight against Cloud, who's superhuman, Sephiroth clones who are superhuman, these are normal guys with nothing but martial arts managing to keep up with superhumans. I think they're pretty badass. But overall, I love the Turks. I love Final Fantasy VII. I love, you know, Cloud and Sephiroth sword styles. You know, I love the materia system. I love the summons, especially Bahamut, Neo Bahamut, Bahamut Zero, and of course Knights of the Round. And then of course when my brother Darklight Dreamer was doing his Q&A last Friday, he talked about, you know, grinding to level 35 and getting beta at the beginning of the game, and he's talking about me. I used to spam that every run through Final Fantasy VII, is getting beta at the beginning of the game, which kind of breaks the game because you're not supposed to have the spell until disc 2, but it's such an awesome spell that I just, especially you pick up the other spells that go with it, you know, Trine and Aqualung, and it's just a badass combination. But yeah, so I've done that many a times, and that's my favorite. So the Turks are my favorite group. Final Fantasy VII is my favorite Final Fantasy. I think Omnislash is my favorite move in Final Fantasy ever. But I think my favorite Final Fantasy babe is Fran from Final Fantasy XII. So there is your answer, my brother. By the way, if you've never seen any of the Final Fantasy, Fran is a very sexy, badass archer / bunny girl. You know, they're called Vieira in the Final Fantasy world. And she just has the very cold but feisty personality. Very cool character. Anyways, I'm running on. Yeah, really enjoyed that game. And I appreciate your question, man. You love your new talk show. It's looking great. Definitely enjoyed watching it. Also, being that I'm usually seeing you know, your table down view when you're working on your models and stuff like that, it's kind of cool to actually get to see the person behind the channel, you know, with your sit and talk style. You've got some really cool hair. It reminds me of Rainbow Dash. But I mean, really, really, really digging the new show. Definitely keep that up because it's awesome. And then that brings me to my own question for the week. So my question for this week is, organization for the hobby. So I am about to work on getting my workstations cleaned up. And like I said, you're going to get some before and after pics because it is bad right now. Because I keep getting caught up on stuff, or working to get caught up on stuff, and I keep having the idea I'm going to clean the workstation for the hobby as soon as I get past this next commission. But then I get another commission, I'm like, as soon as I get past that commission. Then I get 2 more commissions, I'm like, as soon as I get past those commissions. You can see where this spirals out of control, and I've lost control of my workstation at this point. So, my question for you is, what is the worst you've ever let your workstation get? And what was finally, your motivation, the straw that broke the camel's back when you finally decided to organize it? What does your workstation look like right now? Drop me some pics down below, drop me some comments down below, share with me some pictures on Facebook. Any one of you can go and request Methos as a friend right now. Or if you want to drop them down on our Frosted Fist Facebook page, then I would absolutely love to see pictures of your workstation. In fact, if you liked this episode of Wolfbrother Wednesday, I know it was short, guys. I know I didn't have a whole lot of updates, but like I said, it has been kind of a rough week. But if you did enjoy this episode, as I enjoyed sitting and talking with you, and actually talking with you guys helped me feel a bit better, then grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. And again, drop me some comments down below, because again, chatting with you guys has helped me feel a little better. And when I can interact with you guys and talk to you guys down in the comment section, that always is a special part of my day. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, then this Wolfbrother, and even though Freakalicious isn't here with me, I know he would also love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fist. Till next time, guys, stay frosty.